Forever. Dog.
Warning, the following podcast contains a nightmarish RV campground, vitamin talk, men in the concrete business, and a wide-ranging look at themed entertainment featuring the Flintstones. Hello, dum-dum. It's podcast The Ride.
Welcome to Pod Rock the Ride, a pod rock about Themosaurus parks hosted by three cavemen in the year 30,000 BC. I'm Scott Graniter, joined, of course, by Mike Carlstone. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, yabba dabba doo to you.
Thank you, yabba dabba doo to yuu.
And yabba dabba doo as well to Jason Sheridan.
Sure, yeah, I'm glad you had something because I was coming up short.
Wait, can we do it again? Because I've already forgot who everyone's.
I'm Scott Graniter, and you are Mike Carlstone.
Carlstone, okay, got it.
And that's Jason Sheridan.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
okay,
take it.
got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to forget it in 5 minutes, but I love it.
I don't know that it'll come up again.
That's
I don't
a good
think
point.
it'll be. Yeah, I won't. Although I'm tempted to just like quiz.
Well,
see
we
how
don't-
alert you are.
We don't really address each other by full names generally on the show once we get rolling.
No, I'd say only if there's some. It's like an issue about like hotel booking. It's like something really mundane, and that will provoke Jason to say, "Michael,
That's true, yes. He's in his most parental...
save $30, Michael."
His most parental tone, he will scold me by using my full name. Yes, that is true. That will happen. And we'll see. If it happens today, please use my full Flintstone-ified name.
Which was Michael Carlstone.
Carlstone, I believe.
Yeah.
That's pretty clean. Scott
Granitor, which is a
Granitor.
Ninja Turtle character,
Oh, really?
which is one of the Dimension X rock soldiers. So I will not forget this anytime soon.
Oh, so it's good. It helps.
It's great.
It's not like
Yeah.
a double up.
I mean,
of-
you're stealing from the most beloved IP in my mind of all time, but that's okay.
You're stealing
You're a
valor.
thief.
You're stealing Turtles valor.
Stealing Dimension X valor.
Well, because it could have been Graveler too. So if I need to switch,
No, I think
just
keep
to
it as
stay out
it.
of
Keep it
the-
as is.
Okay. Oh, and you know what? I also wanted to thank the long-horned bird who was recording everything that we say, who's pecking it onto a round tablet, and that is how people will be listening to this here at Forever Dino Studios.
Yeah.
We got a video version running if people want to check that out on the YouTube, and I think it'll be a good one for it because we were packed to the gills with visual aids for this one. It seems important. I guess it struck us all because today we're talking about the Flintstones as they appear in the world of theme parks.
Yeah.
Which is oddly a lot, I think
Yes.
we found. And it's
Yeah.
all over the theme park universe. So this is a grab bag of all the weird ways that our old pals, America's favorite prehistoric family,
Yes.
beating out people there's like in Spaceship Earth, there's like cave drawing robots.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
out.
Did you guys like the Flintstones growing up?
Yes.
Yeah, I did too. Scott?
Yeah, I guess so. But I was wondering, like, how did I see it? Where did I see it? It seems like it was just kind of injected into the bloodstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, syndication, I think, plays a big part. It's kind of ubiquitous. It's just like around, in addition to syndication, Flintstone vitamins growing up.
Well, I think that's maybe my
Pebbles
most
cereals.
favorite.
Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles is my number one.
Sure.
Flintstone Vitamins number 2. Then the actual show, The Flintstones, is number 3. I think.
Yeah.
Or no, you know what? Flintstones, the movie Flintstones Meet the Jetsons is number 3. Then the
Okay.
show Flintstones.
What about Push-Up Pops? Do you remember those? Kind of
Push Pops.
surety?
Okay.
Orange push pops. Yeah.
Changing my lineup.
Yeah, do it again.
Fruity Pebbles, Flintstone Vitamins, Push Pops, Flintstones Jetsons, then the regular show, then Flintstones the kids show from the 90s.
Were they
yeah.
kids, or is that where Bam Bam and Pebbles are teenagers?
I think
That's
they're
a different.
I
I
shoot.
think that's different.
Let me look.
There's definitely one where they're all like, where it's Fred and Wilma and they're like 6 years old.
Yeah,
as
that's what I'm
opposed
talking
to
about.
later years
Yeah.
where Pebbles and Bam Bam get married.
Different show. Flintstones Kids. I'm looking here. These are toys I had because they were on discount And these are when they were children. So Pebbles and Bam Bam have not been conceived. They have not been. They're just an
because
idea.
all the people we know are babies, which of course is a different timeline than the one where Fred and Wilma meet. Wait, no, they might not meet. I think is it Barney? The Viva Rock Vegas prequel timeline, which I think doesn't pair them up. I think you see them both pairs get together in that movie. So they didn't. If they knew each other as babies, they all forgot.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to keep amending these lists because I think we'll remember more Flintstones stuff as we go. Because now I'm just remembering the Flintstones McDonald menu when the first movie came out, and I believe like glasses they had like in the same Batman Forever style. They had Flintstone glasses. And before I saw the movie, I was so excited to see the Flintstones movie.
I think the Flintstones movie was one I knew was around. I knew about it, but I feel like everyone in my family, Scott, much like your family, it's saying like maybe skip Power Rangers. I think everyone was kind of like, "Ooh, yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I think I can pass on this one." And now I'm like, I think I would probably like it more because isn't Kyle MacLachlan in it? And
That's
Halle
pretty
Berry
great. He's pretty great.
and
Yes,
John Goodman, of course.
Yeah,
Moranis.
it's great actors. That's true. Entire Elizabeth Perkins. It is like super stacked with great people. Jonathan Winters.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
in it.
terrific. Yeah.
The movie made me feel odd.
Yeah,
As a little kid, I felt weird watching it, and not just there's like some sexy Halle Berry stuff. And anytime you were in the theater with your parents, I've said this, but like Ace Ventura, it's just like I was being like attacked. I was just like, get me out of here. And I don't even remember what it is in Flintstones movie. That's
she's kind of like sidling up to him.
Yeah.
and like a sexy sax will start playing.
Yeah.
she's Sharon Stone, of course.
Sharon
That's her
Stone, right?
character's
Anytime in a movie before the age of like 15, if a sexy saxophone played, boy was I uncomfortable. Boy was that I had to get out.
That's the
If my
sign.
parents were in the room, forget it. I was mortified.
And
I
what
was
instrument did you play in marching band?
trumpet?
You avoided the saxophone.
not that lascivious saxophone.
So
Not that
slinky, sultry. No, trumpet is stiff.
Yes, that's an instrument. That's a regular instrument for
Chase young men.
that's an a monogamous instrument for marriage. For when it's a marriage between you and the trumpet, and it's something that it's for it's conservative values. That's what I thought when I started playing it.
Is the trumpet the one that plays like dun 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 dun
Yes.
dun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a very.
Well, that's the
sexy
bugle.
song. Oh, you're
Isn't
right.
it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same fingerings.
Yeah, well,
No,
see,
no!
that
You
even
managed
gets
to
you.
sexualize him.
Can I, Brett? Can you bring up this the picture, the Katie group photo picture I sent?
And again, we sent approximately 75 photos.
I sent
so this could
17 between photos
Jesus.
and videos. So I, of course, a big memory is the characters, the Hanna-Barbera characters at King's Dominion, and at the Paramount Parks, like even pre-Paramount ownership, King's Dominion, King's Island, the Hanna-Barbera characters were there, and there was this image of a bunch of them hanging out.
Oh, I see.
It's Fred and Barney and Yogi and Scooby and
Hong Kong Phooey.
Hong Kong Phooey, and then is that Captain Caveman?
Yes.
Yeah. And this was on all of their like promotional material, brochures and stuff. And this was just seared in my mind before a lot of extended relatives.
Why?
I don't
about
know.
this?
Look, because all my friends are there. All my pals from television are
Captain
there.
Caveman, one of your good
Barney,
friends.
but Barney is it because so just to describe to the listener, because we are back on video. If you want to switch over and look at some of this, because again we have 100 photos. But Barney is got his arms outstretched as if he's about to like welcome you with a warm hug. Captain Caveman looks weird, and he's making some weird symbol, which I don't even know what that is. And then a lot of waves, like Yogi's waving, Fred's waving, Scooby, and
Fred looks like a kind of a triumph. We did it. Fist in the air.
But it's stuff we like. They are all hanging out in the park. They all work at the park. They live at the park.
It's stuff
So,
we like.
We love it. We love that.
we do love it.
There was this other ad too. Brett, could you play that video ad I sent? And this was, I think, a big. I think we'll all recognize it as soon as we see it.
Okay.
But this was a big
big part of your kid brain.
A big part of
for loving
for me. Yeah,
Hanna-Barbera and Flintstones in general. It's funny because we're realizing slowly now that we've ingested so much Flintstones in our many years, but none of it is like so incredible that we are like, do we love Flintstones more than like the Mac Tonight commercials from McDonald's?
No, I don't. But and look how quickly we were willing to sell out the show. Like that was not the point to us.
And the show's fine. I don't think the show's bad or anything. But it definitely. It always was around. It was like elevator music or something.
Yeah.
This
is an older ad, but I think we all know it.
Okay, lunch is over. Now back to work. Hiya, Mr. Flintstone.
Greetings, Rocky, my boy. Pack of Winstons, please.
Oh, you like them Winston cigarettes, huh, Mr. Flintstone?
Photo-real cigarette.
Folks, they really got something.
It's so
You
huge.
bet you
It's
like.
half of his face.
Folks who really enjoy smoking know it's what's up front that
Yeah,
counts.
Scott, it's
and
up-
that's where
what's up
Winston
front that
steps
counts.
out ahead of the
There's a
crowd
lot up
with their
front. Long
exclusive
cigarette.
filter blend. Choice golden tobaccos, specially selected and specially processed for filter smoke.
Hold it.
What you mean?
What are you pitching Winstons at me for? You know I never smoke nothing else.
Just practicing, Mr. Flintstone. Everybody knows that.
Winston tastes good, like,
Cigarette
Cigarette
should,
should.
of course.
Yeah.
See you soon,
Double
Rocky.
clap.
Jason's whole like comedic voice is basically based on this commercial.
Yeah, kind of. I'd forgotten about it, but I'd forgotten the details. And then I was like, wait, didn't the Flintstones sell cigarettes back in the 60s? And the answer is yes. There is, because there's multiple ones.
Because they were like a primetime cartoon, which was unheard of at the time.
Yeah.
It was like a cartoon for adults, even though you watch it and there's nothing like, obviously there wasn't a lot of crazy stuff on regular live action primetime, but
This is all 60 years old, more also is what
yes.
this came on in 1960. 62.
So like
Been off the air
my
for-
mom is a big Flintstones person. I don't know that she has like quotes ever, like in the same way that Simpsons, you go, oh, remember that moment? But she just liked the Flintstones a lot. So
There's one quote that just I feel like I say once a week.
It is. It already is a Jason drinking game. I feel like you will never miss an opportunity.
That's true.
To say.
Say it's a living.
But I don't even think that looms large. I think that looms large for like our generation. That it's a living
in a kind
quote.
of ironic
Yes.
way, a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to know the count on that. By which we mean this is like the birds who are the slaves essentially of all the cavemen. That's something they will say
like
when they have to do something very unglamorous.
Like they're like the dishwasher, like they're a dishwasher, the garbage disposal, or like birds are basically in place of a machine that would do some work. And then you like see the like pain on the bird's face as the bird turns to the camera, breaks the fourth wall, and says, "It's a living."
Yeah,
But this is one of those like. Do you think that was said 70 times or once?
I have no clue.
I have zero idea.
Yeah, because it might have been once and it was like memed in a way.
I think it's like every other episode.
Really?
I feel like it's a go-to.
Interesting.
I would love to know the full count, or if there's a super cut, or we'll investigate this further.
Well, I'm sure we'll get like a Flintstones fan that we're going to get a lot of information wrong today, and we'll get some notes.
Yeah.
So we apologize. We're not Flintstone experts.
Will we, or like would we have if that person hadn't died 32
During
years
the
ago?
the first Clinton administration.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Their estate will send us a letter correcting us.
Yeah. Speaking of getting things wrong, Brett, can you bring up that Kings Island brochure? This is actually an opening brochure of Kings Island. So they had the Hanna-Barbera characters, and it's got a feature that I just really like about like old school printing. You kind of saw it in like the costume characters too, where like, oh, the fabric, they seemed like they ran out of the one color fabric, so they just cheated like the 5 o'clock shadow. If you'll notice, Pink Fred with a white mouth.
Whoa, with white, it's white eyes into white nose into white 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And Scooby is there,
That's
and
scary.
Yogi is there, and then who are those?
The Banana Splits?
Banana Splits, right.
Yeah. So yeah,
and then a really scary like radar. This is like a ground zero kind of like it's like a military attack map. Like they're gonna drop bombs on
like Risk.
Kings
it's like
Island in Ohio.
Strategy and Risk.
It's a scary bullseye. It gets like more red as it goes.
1972. All those conspiracy movies are coming out. The like government. Parallax View, Marathon
Island.
Man. Yeah,
This is the way to get
the style.
Yeah. So there's so much Flintstones everywhere. It's been with us for so long, and I guess we'll never leave because there's going to be more stuff. We haven't even talked about, I think, our favorite Flintstones character at all, which is of course Great Gazoo.
Yeah.
I was thinking how this was gonna go. That like I'm sure we've talked about it before, but it did occur to me like I bet Mike and Jason inordinately love Great Gazoo.
Of course.
100%. He's our favorite character.
And what is how long did Great Gazoo? How long was he a presence?
Well, he's a later season. I don't have the stats. I'm sorry. The state of man.
Harvey Korman.
It was Harvey Korman, but I was going to apologize to the Flintstone expert that
kind of like the
deceased
that died 30 years ago. Yeah,
Harvey
Korman also probably
kind of like a cousin Oliver.
Yeah,
a late period
more
edition.
Committed to, and probably maybe more liked than Cousin Oliver. Cousin Oliver got really thrown away.
Yeah, well, there's also stuff in comics of like Batman has a kind of Great Gazoo called Batmite. Superman has Mr. Mixie as Pitalik. He's from the fourth dimension.
That's the most complicated word.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. And Gilbert Godfrey voiced him on the animated.
It's a trope. I wonder what it's a trope in fiction of like an
weird little
annoying
guy.
Magical man who annoys the shit out of you constantly and can do anything. I mean, it's basically Q in Star Trek. It's like this happens all the time. This is a fun guy that fucks with the main character.
And what day-to-day function did the addition of this little alien? What did he add to this caveman show?
He insulted Fred constantly. Call him Dum Dum. Hello, Dum Dum.
Hello, Dum Dum.
Hello.
Why does he show up?
I don't remember.
I think they ran out of honeymooners plots to rip off for episodes.
Yeah, they went far beyond. I think they made a lot more.
Yeah, I think so.
This is like in the same way that like I'm a fan of Ivan Ooze more than I'm a fan of the lore of Ivan Ooze. I'm a fan of Great Gazoo existing.
Yes, sure.
I'm not a Gazoo head. I don't know.
Similarly vaudevillian energy.
It's a funny, idiosyncratic performance, kind of in tone with the Thing, but kind of not. I guess Ivan Ooze more in tone with Power Rangers.
Yeah, somewhat, but it's still like a little bit old. Like I guess I don't know. I can't think of anyone who was like an old 30s vaudeville performer that was a character on the show before Ivan.
Yeah, I think I thought initially that when Duffy first showed up, Duffy the Disney Bear, I was like, who the hell, what the fuck is this? Like, is he going to be like a Great Gazoo type? And then like, no.
You thought he was going to have magical powers
I thought he
and
was
mess
going to
with
be
Mickey?
like a weird little guy that they just added into like, and of course, Mickey's teddy bear.
Hey, I'm Duffy.
Hey, I'm Duffy. Hey, you know that big date with Minnie? I'm coming along too.
I'll be your Cyrano de Duffy.
I'm turning your
Cyrano de Bergerac.
I'm turning your T-bone steak into a piece of dynamite. I'm gonna make your life a living hell. I'm Duffy. Hey, Mickey, go F yourself.
I mean that's something. There's
something.
a lot more of a character there.
Duffy.
Duffy is nice. Seems to be his only trait.
Yeah.
In reality.
The only real media, I guess there's little books of it, but the only media is like the story, the show in Tokyo Disney Sea. And yes, he's got nothing. Duffy's got nothing to do, nothing to say. He's just nice and cute.
Yeah.
And that's all he's got. But
why not have him like tie Mickey's tail up into his shoelaces?
Yeah.
And Mickey trips and falls into a river.
Or make him a little jerk.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good. Jason's got a great idea that he thought Duffy was going to be like Mickey's Great Gazoo.
Just in the sense that he just showed up out of nowhere, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there's other characters in the Duffyverse now, so who knows who. Gelatoni seems like more like he would replace a T-bone steak with a stick of dynamite.
Yeah,
he seems a little bit more rowdy, a little wild.
Well,
Mickey always
He's definitely
eating steaks.
wild in one way, as we've established.
Sexually.
Yes.
Anyways, he fucks.
Let me just do the sums, and we can decide. This is like a day in a theme park where we can all decide what ride we want to hit first. But let me just do the overview really quickly of the theme park presence of the Flintstones. As Jason mentioned, some of the older ones, they're part of the Paramount Parks, the one-time Paramount Parks, Kings Island and Kings Dominion. Longtime association with the Universal Parks via the Hanna-Barbera ride in Florida. There's been stuff at Universal Hollywood over the years, still was up till pretty recently. I forget if there's anything now. That Universal Studios has represented both the cartoons and the John Goodman live-action versions of everybody. Here in Los Angeles, there's a place called Marineland that we've never talked about in like Palos Verdes that's been gone for a long time, but they did the Hanna-Barbera characters, including Flintstones. They appeared at Wonderland in Australia. There were a bunch of weird tiny parks slash trailer parks in Arizona and South Dakota and Canada, and Australia's Wonderland, Canada's Wonderland, and Warner Brothers World in Abu Dhabi, a very new theme park. So they're still making new Flintstone stuff. But if you listen, that's like everything but Disney and Six Flags, essentially.
Right.
They've hit every category of theme, like a very confusing IP that's just slipped and slid into every type of park they could get into.
And it feels like if Disney or Six Flags wanted them, they go, yeah, put whatever you want to do. We don't give a shit. Like, they'll license to anybody. They don't seem to care that much.
Yeah.
Maybe,
It seems affordable.
Maybe.
Like
that could be the
licensing
key.
wise.
That could certainly be the key.
maybe.
There was the Canadian. Okay, we'll get into Bedrock City. I mean, we could just be here all night talking about Bedrock City. But there are multiple Bedrock cities. The two American ones are connected. But then there was a grip of Canadian ones that all had like different stories of how they got off the ground. And I feel like the number I saw floated was like $500,000 for the licensing.
Oh,
and I'm like, that doesn't seem
like
is it a
one-time
perpetuity.
fee?
Yeah, it seemed like a one-time fee.
For Flintstones, which are very recognizable characters, and especially I think for an older generation, is I guess beloved. So that does seem a little low. But I don't have. I was shocked when there was a list of bands and how much they would charge. A couple years ago, there was a whole list like you could just hire Cheap Trick for like $40,000, and I'm like, what? Like that's not necessarily the number, but I was shocked at some of the numbers. So I don't really guess. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I don't have a good number of like, what would you license Beetle Bailey for a theme park ride?
Right.
How much does Beetle Bailey cost in 2022?
Well, how do you
$500,000 seems like a lot for Beetle Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, how do you to an accountant? How would you say priceless?
How would I say that?
Yeah, but I guess you would say not for sale.
Yeah, high and lowest. If I wanted to make a e-ticket high and lowest ride. What are we talking? 20K? Is that too low?
Well, knowing that you're going to get millions and millions in return.
I guess that depends
like a
on who
Mario
it is.
level. You're going to have to like force kids out.
Okay, but if I wanted to do just an immersive family circus walk through down, on Ventura somewhere, and I'm charging $5 a ticket.
Okay, for how forever?
Forever in perpetuity.
Okay.
I'd like to quit the podcast and I would devote my time to a walk through family circus attraction, which I know you appreciate. Obviously, you're a big family circus
I've
fan.
interacted with him before.
Blondie, the experience.
You're in the strip. So like what this is for another episode where we start asking questions.
We each pick a different King Feature Syndicate property.
And we call the lawyer for King Feature Syndicate and we figure out what the fee is.
Yeah.
And see
you need to get so an episode will be that you get a number of this comic distribution company.
Yep.
Which is a
not
Hearst company named.
Right. And it's a Hearst company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because one of the things I was going to say is I do wonder if Hanna-Barbera is not the most litigious company. Because another thing I remember growing up is between miniature golf courses or like family fun zones, a lot of off-brand Flintstones painted or statues. And there's some stuff today where I'm like, did they just give up? Did they just give up on the license or enforcing the license? You know?
I found something off in international waters that I'll mention towards the end. It seems like maybe they just maybe just they don't have a legal person currently
or
to address this.
I mean, Hanna-Barbera is owned by Warner Brothers now, I believe. So maybe they've just had so many new daddies over the last few years. They're just like, no, we don't have time for this
corporate. You're speaking in corporate terms. New daddies.
New daddies. Yeah. They had AT&T
as
daddies.
CEOs say.
They had
Discovery
daddy. You know.
Yeah, too many daddies.
What an issue. You want to dive into this Bedrock City?
Yeah,
Why
sure.
not? Yeah. Bedrock City is this series of. I mean, you would call them theme parks. They are called theme parks, but they're also like campgrounds. Is what they
RV can park there, and you can sleep on the grounds.
All sort of off the beaten path, not too close to anything too populous. Hey, Brett, I'm just going to spin the wheel here. Just pull. If you see a picture somewhere of a shady-looking, desolate campground, we'll just bring it up to have something up to talk about. But as that comes up, I believe the first one was in 1966, right as the show ended, in the town of Custer, South Dakota. It's about half an hour from Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Custer sounds like a great spot. Before it was Custer, it was called Stonewall. So they keep shifting between Civil War-ish names. And I looked on the Wikipedia of Custer, and there are two notable residents, and one of them is just listed. The parenthetical is just convicted murderer.
Got it.
There's a lot going on in Custer. I believe that both of the places that we're talking about started because they're here. This is a great one. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Brett. We're looking at the Flintstones in front of what? There's some nature in the background. There is. This is I think is pristine Bedrock City. This is when things were going great, and it still looked like. I mean, it looks like there's like a walk around Barney who just looks like he took a big mallet to the head, like it squished him down by half.
Yeah, and then he like lipoed all the muscles out of his body.
Yeah, and the heads were designed by whoever designed the Zodiac Killer's burlap sack.
Make no mistake, this is a terrifying photo. The place looks like shit, and it is by far the best photo of Bedrock City I have seen.
That seems correct. Yes, because things were going well back then. Look at what these. Now we're seeing details up on this big screen TV that I had not seen before. The odd scattershot choices in how to represent Fred and Barney. Like, for example, plush heads, right? Barney, I'm sorry, okay, Barney, regular arms, but Fred, plush arms.
Yeah.
With, I think, real hands poking through, at least through one of them. And then it goes to just bare human legs, but then plush feet. Yeah. Which is good because the ground looks hot. They are just walking on rocks. So you don't want people actually barefoot, even though that would be Flintstones realistic.
Yeah.
Really strange. And then look at Barney's pupils, too. Just beady whites. That is kind of consistent with Barney. Sometimes Barney was just pupils in the cartoon. I think his look has evolved, but for a while he was just dots.
Barney sometimes has a very Homer Simpson kind of like eyeballs going different places look to make him look vacant.
Yeah.
And it is certainly captured in the photo we're looking at here.
So they got the essence of the character for sure. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I'd rather hug Fred because there is more plush involved.
It feels more like you're hugging a cartoon.
Barney, just a bare muscular arms.
A very
sunburned.
Yeah.
Barney super tan.
Yeah, Barney looks like somebody killed Barney and is wearing his head on top of their head, and the shirt is draped over, and that's it.
If they can make it through this shift at Bedrock City, then they can live in the mountains forever. Eat squirrels and worms and see how long they make it.
Exactly.
Well, now the second Bedrock City, I saw an anecdote that like they had walk around Fred and Barney, but the second Bedrock City is in Arizona. And it's 30 minutes from the Grand Canyon. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So they had to get rid of the walk around Fred and Barney because they did not have enough locals They could not find enough people
Willing to make
work
the
that
drive.
gig to make the commute.
When new theme parks open, it's like, well, this can be a source of jobs, and that's what they thought, except nobody lives in the place where they needed the jobs.
Yeah.
So jobs not wanted can't be filled. So that's why what you find in both Bedrock City locations more so is a bunch of plaster characters. And look, again, we sent such a pile. Brett, feel free to just freestyle. Let's just see some odd, some of the frightening. Okay, well, you started with this is what I sent. I love this.
I have this picture I sent to
this is insane.
What are we saying?
So bigger picture here.
Yeah.
You are. Okay, in theory, you're looking at all the stuff in Bedrock. You're seeing where the characters live, and you're seeing, the post office and the city hall and the different parts of town. But in this case, we're in the bank, and there is a bank robbery in progress. We're looking at a currently at-large masked criminal holding up something. Is it a gun? I'm not sure how much guns were addressed in the Flintstones. I remember that Kyle MacLachlan in the movie has a weird contraption that fires pebbles.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that's pretty good. They figured out a way to give him a gun.
Yeah.
In this rock movie. I'm not sure what this bad guy's holding. A very alarmed woman. There's a lot of leaves all over her desk. I don't know if leaves are considered currency. We know that shells were.
But
mainly
I don't think
shells.
leaves. These are just real leaves that blew into this building, I believe.
I think so. It's a very dusty environment in general.
Everything. So yeah. If you want to go, we're doing this on video. If you want to take a look too, after you've heard this or whatever, and we'll post some of these photos. But I just want to emphasize: imagine what a Flintstones park would look like if it was Dismal Land, if it was Banksy's twisted version and everything looked like it's decaying.
Purposefully bad dystopian park where also it's an art exhibit. So how much can you actually fill up the space? There's a lot of vacant space, I feel like, at all these Bedrock cities.
It's kind of hard because like in Arizona, beautiful, like big sky. I'm sure in South Dakota too, like a clean air, not a lot of pollution, beautiful clouds. And then when you tilt your head down a little and look at eye level, it looks like Children of Men. Like it looks like what the theme parks may look like without any children around. Like
Post-nuclear blast. Yeah.
Although we don't probably be having a great time. People like us, we'd be like, hey, there's no kids. We get whatever we want.
Well, that seems like the main way that these places have existed. They're both defunct now and in the last 10 years. And I knew of them primarily from like, we're going to sneak into Bedrock City and see what's there. But I don't think it's always even sneaking into. I think there's not even like a wall you got to climb. I think you just walk up and you're in it. I think also that technically all of these places were supposed to give up the copyright as part of the closure. Because one of them, the Arizona one, is now called Raptor Ranch.
Raptor Ranch. Do you have you watched the promotional commercial for Raptor Ranch? Brett, can we get that Raptor Ranch video? And I think we'll see how they dealt with dealing with the Flintstones license. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Because it's there's like when you were saying like desolate, like it's spread out versions of the houses, and there looks like there's miles between themed in quotation marks buildings.
Yeah. It's a miniature golf course with no miniature golf.
Perfect description. Now, Raptor Ranch, not to confuse you further, listener. The raptors in question are not dinosaurs. They're birds of prey.
Current existing, yes. You can go see falcons there.
Also, another thing to mention, this opened in August of 2020, a terrific time for the travel industry, although kind of prescient, kind of a good timing because like people were looking for outdoor activities to do.
That's true, yeah.
So
some might say Raptor Ranch people were the smartest of all.
Yeah, but I think it'll become clear how they dealt with all those bedrock stuff, and we'll talk our way through it. Okay, whenever you want to.
So it says, before you visit the Grand Canyon, look up. There's something wild, and it's in red out, not the white, in the air.
Raptor Ranch.
Okay. So they paid for a drone pilot. They paid for like a drone operator.
This is a drone, and we're seeing like shots of just RVs parked in a parking lot.
Very empty parking lot. Still says,
there's
footsteps.
Fred.
Still So it's all about raptors and birds, but then Yabba Dabba Doo means welcome here.
Yes.
So there's
Big
still a
old
Fred.
sign.
Fred is still, and there's like
Yeah.
guys like with like string
Falcons and
they're
owls and
feeding falcons, and there's
there's
an
a cute little
owl
guy.
running around, and it's there's a lot of cute birds, and all this is
oh, that falcon ate a critter.
Was that a mouse
it
running
looked
down?
like
think
yeah,
so,
there were some
yeah.
birds. So we're just seeing a lot of birds. They have like
Kids
the helmet
with
on.
birds.
So Jason,
Here's
what
the
you're
dinosaur.
saying?
But
So
then
I'm
explore
saying
Bedrock.
explore Bedrock. They just said fuck you. They
Keeping
just
it.
kept going.
Since the 60s, motherfucker.
It's just all there. The post
Bedrock
office.
lives. Bedrock lives.
Oh, they got that drone into
And
the
it,
building.
and what I like what they've done is they
Hipsters run. If you're a hipster, you can be there. We encourage abandoned type YouTube videos.
Hipsters can do the Brontosaurus slide like Fred Flintstone getting off his job. And then
then
there's
back
a
to-
souvenir shop of knives,
Geodes,
Geodes, yeah.
Geodes,
Oh, you can get
emergency supplies.
hostess, end cap.
And then park your RV there. You can spend
Wow.
the
Yeah.
night at Raptor Ranch.
You can spend the night with the rest of your Walking Dead caravan.
And then
Wow.
why do they just do a close up of an empty?
Well, Scott, that's a water
plug.
hookup.
You can
That's
hook
a
your-
water hookup
yeah,
for
That's
an
showing
RV.
that they have water hooked up.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you can hook it up, and then you can get the shit out of the toilet in the RV.
Yeah, and then
that's
they
good.
paid for
Wanna
this
do that.
drone footage, so they're gonna make the use of it. They're
Yeah.
just gonna keep doing it.
So Bedrock
wow.
lives at
Bedrock.
Raptor Ranch.
Bedrock lives.
They have
Got
not.
it clean.
They have not changed a thing about it. They didn't add a coat of paint to any of the buildings.
Well, they still also have a diner that I think is just Fred's Diner. I could be wrong about that, but
Yeah.
it's like lightly themed. They serve like Fruity Pebbles pancakes and Cocoa Pebbles waffles.
Smart.
So shit you guys like.
I
They
ate
got
one
it.
of those
True.
like a month ago. I ate a waffle topped with Fruity Pebbles, strawberries, and maple syrup about a month ago.
In 2020, I made a Fruity Pebbles cheesecake for Thanksgiving during the
Wow.
pandemic. Yeah.
Really? How'd
Fruity
that turn
Pebble-
out?
It was good. It was Fruity Pebble crust. You make a crust out of Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, the crust is 3
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like, yeah, it's good.
Hmm.
Well, maybe I'll do it again.
I feel like do I need to like get reacquainted with Fruity Pebbles in an episode? Like, we've been
Oh,
talking
maybe.
about this kind of like
You
because
should-
isn't the sweetness insane or when you pack it together?
There's some, yeah. I mean, it is sweet. I don't. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think like what's the sweetest cereal. I guess it is, but there is something. I don't know if it's like a chemical. There's an extra chemical in there that makes you want to
Is
have
it the
like
same?
4 bowls of it in a row. But there's something about it because there's plenty of sweet stuff that I go, I have one and I'm done. But Fruity Pebbles, there's some weird. There's like some sort of drug. There's like cocaine in it or something.
Do
Still,
you think they've changed the like chemical makeup since you were?
they've changed the chemical makeup of so much food?
Yeah.
apparently. Like it
All
used,
things,
yeah, it
probably.
used to be oat, and now it's all just corn syrup and other weird shit. And
Yeah.
we're all being slowly poisoned by all major food companies, I think, in America.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've said this before on the show. I remember when Trix changed. I remember tasting Trix and going, these are different. And I never said it out loud because who would have
You didn't have a
believed-
podcast
Who would have
yet.
believed me? And I didn't have a podcast yet. So I'm sure they have. But Fruity Pebbles does retain a lot of my, like, I
Sure.
retain my love of it despite the fact that it's 60% poison.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, more so. It used to be 30% poison.
Better than 100.
Yeah. So we should do, Jason and I bring in our favorite childhood food indulgences.
And by childhood, you mean this
Current.
last Thursday.
Sure.
Yes, I guess really what I'm looking for a title that better describes that we started enjoying it as at childhood and have maintained it well into our 30s.
Make Scott eat like me.
Yeah.
Is the name of this episode.
Yeah.
Omakase. Treat omakase. The Japanese tasting menu, the multi-course. So
Yeah, a word that I
Michael-
only know because it's what Jeffrey Katzenberg wanted to call Quibi. I would not have known this term for fancy sushi.
So we'll bring it in. Yeah,
yeah,
Jason
Michael
and I
cover
will
the
wear-
Pebbles family. I'll cover little
Scrapple.
Debbie's. Yeah, Scrapple.
We'll both dress as Jason and I will both dress as waiters. And we'll come in
Sure.
like with little like the thing draped over.
With the Fruity Pebble pattern on your bow tie.
The Fruity
if those
Pebble-
are available.
There's no way they're not available. That's like every Fruity Pebble thing and Cocoa Pebbles is all like, I feel you can get a 3-piece Fruity Pebbles suit at its sugar. I know that's not right, but I feel like I see enough of that like advertised to me on Instagram that you can get like Pringles, like a Pringles wedding dress.
Yeah.
Like there's so much weird like food branding clothes lately that I think whatever you think of is available.
The wedding ceremony where you see the bride come in and she's in a Pringles pattern, and then it cuts to the groom who looks like Mr. Pringle. Yeah,
Pringle in his Joseph A. Bank X Pringles limited edition suit.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Now, not everything at these Bedrock City parks are poorly done, because the South Dakota one has an animatronic show, the Flintstone Trio, which is built by Sally Dark Rides. When I saw it, I knew I'd seen it before. Sally Dark Rides are favorite makers of bizarre, sometimes janky theme park attractions, but some of our favorite oddities.
Yeah.
And so this is a Sally Dark Rides original. It's the Flintstone Trio is Fred, Wilma, and Dino. Dino on drums. It seems like for a good length of the end of the run of the Flintstone Trio, that Dino's arms had broken and did not move.
Sure.
And his drumsticks were just sitting in his hands motionless, but nevertheless you heard the drum sounds. Did you find a clip of this?
I did. I have two clips. You can't really hear well. I'll just Brett, go to Wilma song, because there's a couple songs and it's really hard to hear. But the Wilma song, I believe, is a recognizable song. But it was, just like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic show with 3 robots that did move a little bit. It's not well documented. This is a VHS, or not, I guess, what's the old way you'd record? What's the format?
Maybe I might still call
High
it.
I guess sometimes you would take the
VHS.
tape.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's a very grainy, very poorly sounding
We
clip.
had one of the, and my mother would not let me touch it. You think it was a Fabergé egg? Like I was just going to immediately push it over from a far height.
Did you break things a lot as a kid?
No, I don't think any more than any regular kid.
So you weren't like Butterfingers or something.
I don't think so. I don't think I was. I would not call myself naturally graceful as a kid or an adult.
Did you have butter on your hands a lot? Like they would slip through your hands?
I don't think I was a particularly sticky kid either.
Well, but sticky would be good.
Well, sticky would be good in this
Sticky
case.
would help with
that keeps the camera in your hand.
And I didn't make the connection of because we did take it to Disney World, and God knows where those are probably in a box somewhere.
There are
once or twice, I think, but I don't think it occurred to me to tell one of my parents, we're going to go on this ride. We're going to go on World of Motion, and I want you to videotape the ride.
I have a video outside World of Motion that I was recording with my family in Epcot, and I'm so annoying behind the camera because I'm like, hey dad, look over here, dad, and you're like, why are you doing, like, just capture the moment. This is cinema verite, like, let's get a real life reactions here. You're not trying to influence. You're the documentarian here.
Well, I had an era where I thought I could be like Tom Green and get a rise out of my parents.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, I wasn't going to do anything as X-rated as how Tom Green got a rise out of his. So I had no plan. I similar to you. I think I'd probably just like,
oh, hey,
mom.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Because like I hide like nasal
Hello,
voice.
Dad. Hello, Dum Dum.
Yeah. I had nothing to that would have been funny at least.
Yeah.
I had nothing to say once he turned around. I was like, wave to the camera, Dad. Wave. And then he's like, yeah, where are you going with this, pal?
You are making this drive worse. Yeah. That is all you're doing. You're making this more annoying for both of us.
Have a game plan if you're going to call your dad on camera. Okay, let's play this clip from the Flintstones
It's Trio.
The Trio.
Flintstone Trio. Lounge act in South Dakota. Yeah, I came across this. So this is My Guy.
Yes.
And then Fred responds here, right?
You're my girl too, Wilma. So, I mean, this is it. You can stop it because you can barely hear it. It's so clacky. The robot noises are so loud. You have to imagine that it's not just the recording, that when you were actually watching the show, the clacks are overpowering the actual singing and music.
This is now. I like that. This is from the video. What you can tell is that this was a theatrical presentation. The lights are off. You are like, it is time to watch this, children. And there's some younger than my son kids having to watch this and being very patient. But this is not a Chuck E. Cheese where you can sort of ignore it if you want.
Oh yeah,
this is like lights down. This is what we're doing for the next 15 minutes or however long it was.
Yeah, like we're gonna need to be quiet here for this. And also, this is you would have to imagine they were like, well, this is the least, this place looks the least like someone has been murdered here of all the Bedrock City.
Yeah, definitely. It's impressively well done, I would say. Apparently, all these places would get updated statues and like Hanna-Barbera would send them a new Betty or whatever, but not in all the cases. And again, I like Brett. We just freestyle it. But I'd say especially if you see a pteranodactyl or a pterodactyl that looks like it's struggling.
Yeah,
that's the one I want to see the most. Maybe we can just find a way to flip through frightening imagery, because some they kept up, and I bet the priority was a little bit like, you got to keep Fred pristine, but
he has to look the most like a character that isn't melted in the sun.
The main four, the Flintstone four, but everybody else had a rough time. I feel like
it was in a lot of the literature about the place, they talk about
here it is.
Oh yeah, here you go.
Yeah, look at this. Is a pterodactyl. Well, I guess it's being born out of a giant egg, but it's flailing in what looks like, it looks like he's getting splashed in tar. It looks like this is the moment of being trapped in time.
This is haunting.
At the tar pits.
This is a haunting picture.
Or it's birthing.
Well, that's
out
an
of
egg.
Black
that's
fluid.
an egg.
An egg, yeah.
That is literally what's happening, but it's so horrifying. And unless if that egg is just pure black inside, then it sucks to be a dinosaur.
It's very
doesn't it?
Cronenberg. You know?
Oh yeah.
Very.
This is if you're a kid, you can see this. You're like, oh my god, like life is horrible.
This is how you get a record player in Bedrock.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then this is how your life starts. But then you're destined to just work for some family, just pressing your beak against stone, grinding you down until you can't work anymore. And then what?
Yeah.
Then what becomes of you?
All right, you can either be a lamp or you can be an assistant director on a music video, which is a detail from the Universal Studios.
Yes,
Hollywood
show. That's a prime job. Is there anything else we can flip through in terms of
we'll post photo,
frightening imagery?
But it's so just literally imagine they call somebody like the Flintstone Killer or something, and he has like a basement that he's like made to look like the scenes from the cartoon.
Here we go. This I like this guy. Now we're in there. So there was the bank robbery, but now we're in jail, and there is a guy in kind of not prison stripes, but more like cowhide.
Yeah,
and he is bald with gray on the sides, and he's giving a big thumbs up. And I like this because I feel like I picture this guy being a white collar criminal.
Oh,
I think this is a Madoff. This is the Madoff of Bedrock, who has accepted his fate. He knows that he scammed and embezzled.
Is this Fred's
and
boss?
he's like, this thumbs up to me signifies the justice system is working.
This is Bernie Mineral.
That's good, yeah.
I like that.
What was Fred's boss's name?
Mr. Slate?
Mr. Slate. So that's not Mr. Slate.
I don't think so. I don't think he was gray. I think
he wasn't. He was a
bald,
shorter guy too.
No,
right?
Mr. Slate was never punished for exploiting his workers.
This is Mr. Slate.
Yeah.
In case
big round.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying here.
He's got big glasses.
I was thinking, I was thinking of Spacely. I was thinking Mr. Spacely from Jetsons, who's
a tyrant.
Who's a shorter guy and a tyrant.
Yeah. And then you find out in the Jetsons movie from the 90s, it's like, no, there's people, there's little guys, there's little.
The little like Furby type.
Yeah, they were
too.
displacing them to get sprockets.
Yeah.
Or mine ore.
They also make George Jetson rap, which is a very uncomfortable display for this actor. Like probably not too far from passing away, and he's got to learn what rapping is quickly.
I have not watched the Jetsons movie in a long time, but as a kid, I did like it.
Yeah, that was one where it's like we got a VHS somehow, either as a gift or whatever. So it's like it was on repeat, DuckTales movie had that, watched it on repeat.
Love
Right.
early CGI, great. Debbie
Yes.
Gibson
Yep.
music videos, so great. So that's a bunch of crazy bullshit out of Bedrock City. Have we missed any detail? Wait, did we say the fact that it was the owners of 2 cement plants who came together, and that's why this happened? They're like, well, we got the cement. What? That's
so
half the
funny.
battle.
That actually explains a lot. It explains quite a bit. It doesn't quite explain why like Wilma and Betty look so absurd, like abstract art, and then Pebbles is like big, like a giant head. Like small, I guess you couldn't do a regular size Pebbles because she would be like doll sized.
I mean, you
so
could.
But then you'd be like, oh, it's
There were not concerned with scale here because actually in the a lot of the advertising they were touting the 20-foot Dino. That was the big thing. Like I found in multiple like ads, like come see the 20-foot Dino,
Which he was not. Obviously, he's their pet. He's the size of a collie or something.
right?
Maybe bigger.
He's
Yeah.
bigger than a collie.
I guess
maybe a
so.
Great Dane.
Sure,
I think he's
Yeah.
as big as
he's-
the biggest dog,
Yeah, so
but
Marmaduke.
not. Yes,
He's Marmaduke size.
How much do you think the rights for Marmaduke cost? If I want to do a pop-up restaurant based on Marmaduke,
Look, not much because they just cranked out a movie on Netflix that no one's even.
Is it out?
Yeah, Pete Davidson.
Oh, what?
Is
They
Marmaduke?
got yes, yeah. They got like the biggest.
Wow.
Like everybody knows every move of this guy.
guess I didn't
And yet
know that.
he managed to put out.
wow,
To be in a Marmaduke movie now that nobody like, if he goes outside, if Pete Davidson
he's like one of the top
orders
10 most
takeout.
famous people in the world.
Yeah. So I guess he found a way to finally get some privacy, and that is voicing a Marmaduke movie.
Yeah. Well, do you remember? This isn't Pete Davidson, but like years ago, they made a Top Cat movie, mostly screened in Mexico.
I think you've brought this
And
up on
then
the show a few
they've made a
times.
second Top Cat movie.
Yeah,
It's a prequel to the first
right.
Top Cat movie.
I think we have talked about this Top Cat movie.
We're
situation.
looping around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these forming. Like
yeah.
like we're at round 3 of this thing.
Of talking
coming
about
up.
the international releases of the Top Cat.
I'm sure
franchise.
I'll check Just Watch. I should just watch it.
You should. Well, I
as
want to
the
see
website
I want to
says.
watch this Marmaduke movie, and then I want to buy the rights to make my own Marmaduke movie.
I think you're in. I mean, I don't know how. It's just a matter of like talking to the bank, but you're like,
Okay,
it's not an amount of money you couldn't attain.
let's get a sheet. I want a full sheet from King Features Syndicate, and like what each thing costs and what the length of time is. Like, I wonder if you were like, we got Pete Davidson for Marmaduke, and they're like, great, it's
Okay.
$25,000.
Top Cat the movie, 2011. Roku channel and freebie.
Okay.
So you're going 2 for 2.
Mm.
Okay,
2 freebies.
Places need content.
these the Hanna-Barbera characters have not been maybe treated with such pristine care. Like they sort
Yeah.
of, if you got a thing, they'll let you do whatever you want.
Top Cat Begins, the 2015.
That's the movie name.
That's the prequel. Yeah, Top Cat Begins. is
we had to know. We gotta know.
Top Cat.
Freebie again. Freebie, Tubi, and Voodoo Free. The free wing of Voodoo.
Top Cat Rising. What's the next one called?
Yeah,
More Top Cat.
more Top Cat. Top
Another
Cat.
Top Cat.
Top Cat ends.
Top Cat ends. Well, yeah, we'll figure out all the pricing.
Who's Top Cat?
Oh yeah, who plays? Is it
Oh,
an actor,
good
not
question.
non-American actor?
Despite knowing more about the Top Cat movies, plural, than any
Yeah.
man, you don't know who is Top Cat.
Tom Cruise.
They list a few voice actors. They do not list the voice actor of Top Cat. Let me
What?
Not
jump
important.
to IMDb.
Maybe it's an AI. It's like the Luke Skywalker voice. On
They literally
Mandalorian.
couldn't find anyone. No one
Yeah.
was willing to do it. The most out of work actors.
Well, most of them actors said they didn't want to. Just tackle
Mess
such
with
a
the legacy.
big role like that. Yeah,
yeah,
they didn't want to let people down.
yeah. No, you're setting yourself up for a fall.
What's the Joker sequel called? And is that going to be the next Top Cat?
Folly, do? Folly.
Doesn't sound right.
It means
in multiple
like,
ways.
I did look the
It's a
meaning.
French. So
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix Joker, they announced sequel. And did you see this, Scott?
No. Which movie is this gonna rip off?
This is it's gonna Raging Bull.
Sounds good.
Folie à deux. That's Joker. Folie à deux.
Okay.
And the French reference being a medical term pertaining to a mental disorder which affects two or more people.
Some sort of Joker.
Another Joker in the
Comrade?
movie. How many Jokers can we get in one movie?
No. So the movie equivalent of that video of the 10 Jokers going down the escalator at the Comic-Con.
Yep. If I'm pitching on it, and I know this is a Flintstone episode, but if I'm pitching on it, I say get Leto in there.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's watch the world burn. Jared Leto, Joaquin Phoenix, Jokers. What was it again? Something off
Folly.
à deux.
I mean, I love the shirts. I love like walking through a mall and seeing a shirt where 7 Jokers are all playing pool together. So if we can get them all,
let me amend Nicholson and Joaquin.
Okay.
I don't know what shape he's in.
Get them all in. Why not?
Fair. Okay.
It's like you gotta give. Yeah, there's gotta be somewhere to go. I mean, I don't know. We'll add a Joker with each.
Oh, get the deleted scene Joker for the new Batman.
Deleted scene Joker?
Which
He's
I
in
thought,
the movie.
I thought was a joke. After I fell for some deep fakes, I was like, well, surely this sucks.
Did you
this
fall
is
for
awful.
Different deep fakes or the same Tom
No,
Cruise?
the other, the
this
Tom
is a runner
Cruise.
too. Jason
there is
falling
another
for deep
one.
fakes.
But no, I like after the Tom Cruise scene, I saw that Joker scene. I was like, this is awful. There's no way this is real, right? And then it's like, oh no, it's very real.
Oh, so you're saying after the Tom Cruise. So Jason, a couple episodes ago,
my,
thought Tom
hackles
Cruise
up.
leapt over Keegan-Michael Key at a Comic-Con or something.
Yeah, I saw that clip 8 a.m. watching on my phone, lying on my back,
and
still
in
bed
wow,
without my glasses. I was like,
60-year-old Tom.
pretty fun. Okay.
But then that threw off you're just believing anything you saw for a couple weeks is what you're saying. I'm clarifying. So then when you saw the Batman scene, you thought
so I saw the Batman scene later.
But you thought that was deep faked?
I thought it was like when people make fake trailers and they just cut. They just
some
chop
guy
and screw stuff. Yeah.
Made himself up to look like a scary guy and then cut himself into the Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
Yeah, something like that.
But no, it's real.
Jason thinks January 6th was deep fake now.
Well,
they put they put faces of good upstanding MAGA people onto
the kangaroo
Antifa
court
bodies.
of this current Congress. There's a few freedom fighters and then a bunch of clowns.
We're gonna have to do the deep fake challenge eventually here. I'm gonna have to start learning how to do it.
Oh, to
Put 'em
you make
together.
a deep fake to see if it tricks Jason?
I guess, yeah. I guess that's what the
deep
challenge.
fake
I guess that's
challenge
what the
is?
challenge will be. I'll have to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to get a beta invite for this. Do you guys know about? I think it's called Midjourney.
This
Is it the
this
AI
AI
thing
where
yeah.
you can
Things.
plug in phrases and it'll generate just nonsense.
Bizarre
Yeah, I tried
imagery.
it.
Did
I didn't
you?
get a good one. Yeah, you can just do it. It's a website.
Yeah, it wasn't letting me access it.
It's a web. I have a link for it. I don't know
Okay.
if I did. I tried it 2 days ago.
The developer's in Lake Nona, so he didn't want you to have
Okay, yeah.
He heard.
You're on the no list.
They did not like whatever burner Discord username I made to access it.
Yeah, so you can just what Jason's talking about is you can do you just put 2 words in and it'll generate 9 weird pictures. So somebody put in I'm trying to remember an example. It was a puppet something, and then it kind of blurifies photos where it's thumbnails of I don't know, say it's Elf but a human man, and it makes a human man with Elf's snout or snoot.
I think Stefan Heck of the Block Party podcast, I believe, generated one that was Roseanne getting attacked by wild dogs at a subway, and it looked pretty good.
You can do it's
or
weird.
wild dogs running on the field at the World Series. It's just crazy.
You can get some, yeah. You can. There's some people it's weird with the AI. The computer can put together, but we'll do some of that too, and we'll quiz you on those, I guess.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, they have a certain look about them. I wanted
I was
to
gonna say, you're not
generate
gonna, get
Barney
fooled by
Rubble
that.
cries at a Tony Robbins seminar.
I put in Alf marries Pam Anderson, and it didn't. And it didn't work.
What?
No.
It just didn't. It wasn't good. Because I thought it was going to be anything. And
Can
then I
you
was
do
trying
it
to
on
think
your
of,
phone right now?
let me see if I can find the
Can we
website.
do
You guys
something with the Flintstones?
Yeah, you guys talk amongst yourself while I try to figure out where this was.
Okay. There's one of them had a volcano called Mount St. Wilma. One of them there's a Mount Rockmore, which I like because it's already a mountain, right? So we have to further rock punify a thing that is rocks, that is chiseled rocks. But so that is Fred, Barney, Dino, and the founder of the town, Mr. Granite built, which is a character I don't recognize offhand.
No.
But he's the only one who deserves to be there because like Fred is not like the king of the town. Like Mount Rushmore is our presidents, our leaders. Fred's just a guy there. Like, why does he get to be on? And Dino, his dog?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of
town
sense.
resident and also his pet
Pet
are up there with
and
the
his,
town
and his
founder.
pal next to. Yeah, they got to reevaluate who they're putting on.
Yeah, I mean, some of the characters they just made. I don't really remember the school teacher who was kind of horrific looking in Bedrock City. That one has not aged well. A lot of the generic characters have really not aged well. You can kind of identify Wilma and Betty.
Yeah. I have found the website. I just started with an easy one. I just put Flintstones money. Let's see if they just generate too much traffic.
Okay. Oh,
this is a problem.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's
let's
gotten too
not-
popular now.
Ah,
so.
geez.
I'll keep
so we
trying.
can't-
I'll keep trying. I'll keep reloading it as we go.
Can't steal it for our content. Maybe we should move on to some other Flintstone stuff because it was not just depressing defunct RV parks. The Flintstones, up until not that long ago, were still a presence in Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yes.
There was, it started with this stage show, but it kind of lasted for a while. The carnival games at Universal Studios until recently, the whole area was a Rock Vegas. It was Rock Vegas Casino.
Right.
So that was like a pretty big footprint and a barbecue restaurant.
Yes, which was the last holdout of Flintstones, basically.
Yeah, demolished
at
for
Universal.
Wizarding World construction, I think.
If you wanted to get just blasted with just the craziest like barbecue smoke, you would walk by there, and it was just unbelievable.
It was just open air grill.
It was wild.
It's lots of sort of like kind of nasty looking.
Ribs every part of it
decaying in the sun.
I never ate there. It might have been fine. It looked awful. It didn't smell great. Like it was a very strange thing, especially after all the Flintstone presence was gone. Other than that, it was a very weird thing to just walk by.
And that opened well after. Sorry, were you saying did that open for the sequel Flintstone?
I'm not sure. I don't know when it all went in
I think
there.
the restaurant, because the stage show was like 94 to 97, so pretty on point.
Around
I feel like
time
the
of the film.
restaurant and stuff didn't come along until like 2001, like much later.
That might have been Rock Vegas promotional.
Okay.
Viva Rock Vegas to capitalize on the mania.
Of course, we all remember.
America. Wow, when they were, I might have talked about this before. How I just remember seeing a newspaper article saying, "Hey, they're going to make a prequel, and because it's Las Vegas, there's going to be different types of rocks." Like that was the press release before the movie got made. Get excited, everybody! Different types of rocks will be in this.
And have you seen Viva Rock Vegas?
I did. It was one of my first pandemic views.
Yeah,
weirdly.
I thought that's
it might be
familiar.
why it came up before.
Okay.
This is only a second timer. As we talk about, as things that we've talked about many times. It's not a 3 or a 4. It'll enter our 5 timers club is stories that we've told 5 times.
Yeah, that we've.
Is Viva Rock Vegas? Is any of the cast back?
No.
No. Right. Okay.
No. All new. All younger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this opened in 2000. So opening a Flintstones barbecue place in 2001, I can kind of see the justification.
Yeah.
And the games too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just, when I was saying it was so weird, it's because it was the only one left. The only thing left there.
It doesn't make sense when you see the budget was $83 million and it made $59.5 million.
The movie, not the barbecue
movie,
not the
restaurant.
barbecue.
Okay.
I do not have the financials. I
wish
don't know the
each-
margins.
I wish each restaurant would release.
I wish
we would
John
do-
Taffer would rescue some.
We could get so much more
Theme park
content out of that
restaurants.
if we knew the financials for each individual restaurant and each theme
Yeah.
park.
Oh, now we're talking.
This
Yeah, that would
pizza-
keep us away from rides for so long, for years.
thank you.
Yes.
The thing we do is so actively try to
The
avoid.
bottom line of theme park restaurants. Oh,
All right, back to the bulk cement statues. Back to the excess cement they had to put somewhere.
Let's talk a little about this live show, and I've got a clip here, Universal Studios ad, which starts with a flying. This kind of in 30 seconds gives you a pretty good view of what happened in this show. The show was called The Flintstones Show. This was a musical that I definitely saw and I liked a lot.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this show and would look forward to it from this ad that we'll play. There was I saw a still ad for it as well with a tagline, and the tagline was "Yabba Dabba Do It Live," which unfortunately now I just go straight to the Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Do
that's
It
Bill
Live.
O'Reilly,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's completely taken up, and fuck it. Well, Yabba Dabba Do It Live.
I want to give a quick update that I've been refreshing my phone with different prompts, and the one that worked was Flintstones sexual.
Oh no!
And
no.
it is up
Can you
here.
show it?
I can. It's not. Again, this is what I'm saying. Where it's not like everything is perfect, but I'll show you guys first.
Okay.
In some of them, it looks like Fred has a penis for a nose,
Okay.
and that might be the best.
This doesn't get. Yeah.
I think they've
I'm not
dismissed-
offended. I'm not terribly offended by any of that.
Um,
That looks a lot like some of the statues in the Bedrock City.
Yeah.
So like that's the kind of just.
I think you can go like really specific.
Yeah.
Like Fred Flintstone buys big red gum.
Okay, I'll try that. Buys big red.
All right, give
Big.
that a shot while we play here this clip of the Flintstones show. Okay. There we go.
With the new Flintstone Show, a live rock extravaganza with mammoth sets and dynamite special effects. It's the most spectacular show
That's
in
the main
history.
thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, but do it yourself
Fred
in the
falls backwards into a volcano. Can we get one more play on that? Fred falls backwards into a volcano, gets shot straight up into the air.
A very
It's
Tim and Eric
space
kind
speed.
of shot up.
Yeah, very digital.
extravaganza
The sound.
with mammoth sets and dynamite special effects.
He's playing
It's the
a guitar
most
when it
spectacular
happens.
show in prehistory. Yabba dabba do it yourself in the all-new Flintstone Show.
Incredible
Windows
sound.
365
Yeah, wow.
And you just get into general ad for the park. But I love that moment. And I was like,
Yeah.
now this I don't remember. I do not recall witnessing what Fred Flintstone's death potentially.
Yeah.
Look at that face too. Oh my god. Where am I going? And then just the rocket shot out of. So I was like, what is this? How does this actually play out in the show? And in the show, I think it's all dummies. I believe that a dummy gets yanked up out of the ground, and then further closer to the audience, another dummy returns. So it's like
Okay.
a dummy getting shot straight up into the air, coming right back down, and then look at this back. Oh my god!
Wow. So it's like the Spider-Man at Avengers Campus, but they did it 20 years earlier.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, inanimate, not a guy. If it's just a dummy, we can flail it around, break
Yeah.
all its limbs.
Stunttron. This was the original Stuntronic.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fred Flintstone at Universal.
And
Incredible.
yeah, I have to give this show a little bit of credit because it seemed like they did spend some money on it.
Yeah,
For like the sets are pretty good. Yeah, there's
multiple
a car.
sets. There's town, and
Yeah.
there's the Flintstones house, and then this rock video.
Yes.
That's what it
They
culminates
fly
in.
to Holly Rock on a pterodactyl plane, which you see in the commercial. Little deceptive because it kind of seems like a ride vehicle you will get in. Not the
No.
case.
No,
Fred
not that
and
fun.
Wilma
Yeah.
get in it, and it just kind of goes around stage. It doesn't fly over you.
Right.
No, it did. No, that's not true. It does fly over
it does
you.
fly
Yeah,
over
yeah.
you.
No, I recall that. And I recall this. It's actually pretty impressive. They bring out I mean, it is like some major theme park engineering. Like this huge prop comes out. They roll it out. This puppeted pterodactyl, and the mouth moves, and they hook it up to ropes in front of you, and then and then 4 actors get on it. It does a full loop above some of the audience.
Okay.
It was extremely impressive. But what I remember is that when I went, it got stuck halfway through. So there was just a long segment where the actors have to fill the time somehow, and they kind of would refer to what's going on, and I just remember it being my mom saying, "No, this was not planned." So they're covering, they're improvising. So this may be actually the Flintstones might have been the first I ever learned of improvising.
Wow.
So you think it's just to stall for time while something bad is happening?
Yeah. No,
just
I don't.
not an inaccurate description of a lot of improv shows I've seen.
Well, it's stalling for time while you so it's bad while your bad life is happening. This will fill it.
Yeah.
You're promised a showbiz career at the end of 5 different classes and $5,000.
It's like I got stuck on this pterodactyl for
I was always
5 years.
Taught the trick that if you're hard up for an idea, you're blank out a little, just cross the stage, and then you have the time to think of an idea. And it gives the audience a visual to look.
That's a strategy, really?
Yes.
Walk over there.
Yeah, walk, move a little, because it draws the eye, and it buys you a little time.
If you would see our old Jason and I's improv shows, he was crossing the stage.
Crisscrossing left and right. That's
multiple
the trick.
times a show.
Man, he's playing a lot of characters playing tag. A lot of children running from stage to stage.
Yeah.
I thought the sets and the costumes and everything looked good. This is filled with, I think, one of the things that has made the Flintstones kind of like work in different eras, which is all the Stone jokes, all the rock jokes. It is chock full of
timeless humor.
It kind of works, and the audience is into. I mean, there's a little the sign that said, I think you're supposed to say Toys-osaurus, like Toys R Us,
or is it Toys R Us?
Yeah.
Good question.
Not sure.
Some are more clean. BC Hammer, Mastodonna, New Kids on the Rock. BC Hammer appears to be played by a white actor. So,
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
The premise, by the way, being that Fred Flintstone passes an audition to be the star of the first rock video. Despite not being a musician, he beats out BC Hammer and Mastodonna and people who come in with a whole act.
Right.
He just kind of like slaps his knees a little bit, and somehow it's him.
Well, because they're doing like a Star Search kind of auditions at the Water Buffalo Lodge,
which they just call Star Search. They don't rockify that. No, they do Ed McRock. But it's not man becomes rock.
Yeah. Walter Concrete. That works.
That's
Oliver
good.
Stone, very clean.
Very clean. We need a director of our rock video. And the director of our music rock video will be Oliver Stone.
I think that works pretty well. There's a lot of music video aesthetics in Natural Born Killers.
Tilted angles.
Yeah, tilted, a lot of Dutch angles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zsa Zsa Herbivore, starting to lose it.
I like that, honestly.
Yeah.
No, you guys don't like Zsa Zsa Herbivore?
I guess I admire the length of the wall. That's like a cross of a stage.
Yeah.
There's been a line. There was a running gag in it that the stuff is now known as fire. It was previously known as and they get a lot of mileage out of that. The audience seems into that. There's a joke about the film In the Line of reasonably topical.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, are there? I watched a little bit. Are there? They're topical. It's not Genie. It's not.
I don't think they changed them up.
Yeah.
But there's one where they say that we wish a happy birthday to actor George Burns. He's 22.
Pretty solid.
Good.
And then you hear somebody close to the cameraman go, ha ha ha. It's the ha ha ha.
That joke's timeless, though. You
Yeah,
can do
that's for the
joke.
parents.
Yeah.
Who is our perennially old? Because it was Larry King. I think there was a Larry King is old joke in every episode of Conan while I worked there. And who is our forever old now? Do we even do that post-COVID? Because we know that all the ones we love, like Herman Cain, are imperiled.
I don't even. Yeah, that's true. I don't even want to say the name of the person I thought.
Oh,
of,
I know.
Because I don't want to curse with the podcast. The right curse.
I think I know who you mean. Are we talking about you thinking about popping in a DVD?
I am thinking about a DVD. I'm thinking about that media, that physical media that you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, just thinking about your DVD.
But
collection.
I won't say yes. That's as far as I'll say. But yes.
But you don't even. I feel like it's different. Like. Because I think maybe something has changed culturally because it was probably Betty White before that.
Yes.
But now we don't want to curse these people.
Right.
And nobody's mad that they're old. We love that we celebrate
yes,
that they're
right.
old.
It's a
but
different
Larry
thing.
King, it's like I've sensed some rage in a Larry King joke.
Oh,
How
sure.
long
sure.
is that? Maybe people, that might be incorrect.
Yeah, I don't know about. I mean, it depends what. I know you like to listen to some of the angriest comedians, so maybe they were really like laying it into poor Larry toward the end.
Oh,
Sacred cows.
Pulling out the old Bill Hicks cassettes.
No, you know where I'm coming from. As the
Bill Hicks
edgelord,
was doing
yes.
Larry King bits 40 years ago. Update. I checked. By the way, thank you for allowing me to check on camera. Because I've been refreshing. It keeps giving me
your dream come true.
It's my dream to do it on the podcast live. So finally it worked. Fred Flintstone buys Big Red gum, and it looks like nothing like what the prompt is.
We are not selling what is interesting
we have
about this
done
AI art.
2 bad jobs.
I don't know. This doesn't look like the art that I had been seeing.
This is what I've been seeing. If maybe there's a different AI that you've been
okay.
seeing. But I've seen a ton of these.
I'm gonna try.
Sort of
I'll try to get in
9
on
picture
the other
grids
one.
of like little I guess icons like looking.
It's this thing that's happening that's really long-winded to describe that has failed us every time we've tried to.
We're trying to get a really
just
good
another
joke.
modern.
We're trying to get a good joke going here, and it's just we're eating shit at every turn. It's letting us down because all these sometimes you see it and you go, oh, this is so funny. Look what somebody did, and now we've really
Well, because this is newfangled.
Oh, I've dropped my
and
keys.
He's so mad he dropped his key. Hey, don't.
All right,
He's
easy.
gonna be throwing them next.
I'm upset.
Don't slice our faces up,
I'm
Mike. It's not that
upset.
bad.
I'm gonna put my keys on the table here.
It's newfangled technology, and the Flintstones teaches us that they had everything they needed back then. This is actually something that's occurred to me about because we've and we'll touch on some other things, but there's you can go visit Bedrock and the Flintstones in a lot of different theme park settings, but none of them are exactly blockbuster attractions that everybody loves. And it's like, is that because boy, you know what I'd love to do is to go be in the Stone Age. I'd love to. I don't think is that anybody's desire?
No, but
I like having my laptop here.
I get what you're saying. I think though the one in the one over the what is it, Warner Brothers World?
Mm-hmm.
That's the newest one.
Yeah,
that at least captures some of it. At least it's colorful and it's full of characters that your parents or grandparents enjoyed. And the voices sound vaguely
nice way to pay respects to your grandma.
Yeah. So it's not like, I wanted my feet to rub against the pavement while I was driving a car. I don't think that's an experience people wanted. I don't think there's anything in the Flintstones that you would want to happen to you.
Maybe you want to have some of the big ribs.
The big ribs, I think.
Although,
Jason, did you want the big when you were a kid and you saw that? Because that would stress me out because at the start, in case you don't know the iconic opening of the Flintstones, and I say that like jokingly, but I guess people might not.
In case you don't know it, and you've been listening to an hour and a half of Flintstones
a show
content.
Or the actor Al Lewis, who's been dead for 40 years, comes up a lot. The opening of the Flintstones, they go to like a drive-in, and a big, like dinosaur-sized rack of ribs gets put on the side of their car.
That's what it's from. They ripped open Brontosaurus's chest and yanked his ribs out.
They fucked up Fred's bulldozer dinosaur. So
Basically,
then he
his former crane is what you're looking at.
And they put it on the side of the car, and the car tips over. I think there's a variation on what happens to it too, and I'm remembering there's another thing that happens too. But I think the one
it impales Fred. It goes straight into his brain.
And it's just 22 minutes of a funeral.
The other thing that always happens is like Dino locks him out of the house.
Yes, that happens
which does
a lot.
happen in the stage show.
Okay, well, that's good.
Or the cat, because there's also a cat who I don't think. It's the cat. It's in the theme song. Then the cat will stay out for the night.
Right.
I know this because, and I don't have a clip of this, but there's a really insane, too high of budget music video made on the set of the Flintstones movie, but with the not the B-52s, but the BC-52s.
Nice.
And they made the whole cast be in it. They like took a shooting day clearly to end with like 100 extras all in the caveman clothes, but all these esteemed actors, as we were saying, John Goodman and Rick Moranis, like nothing gets access to Rick Moranis anymore. But back then you could get him to be in your music video for hours, banging on a xylophone made of bones with other bones. And that lyric about the cat, then the cat, and they make Halle Berry do it. So there's this weird clip where it cuts to her just to say the word cat, kind of sensually, because her
makes
character
me uncomfortable.
Was very,
Sounds
sexy sax and a woman saying
no,
cat
thank you.
with bedroom eyes.
Oh yeah, no.
I recommend the music video.
Sure. Well, back in the 90s,
what an insane! It shows you how much waste there was.
The glory, the excess of the 90s, where you get a band and they do a big music video about the movie in the old days. Which I know, Top Gun, they got the Lady Gaga song.
Yeah, we're getting back to it.
A little bit of a throwback kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But real quick, I just want to say, did the ribs thing stress you out as a kid, or did you like that?
Oh, I thought it was funny.
Okay, but you didn't say like, I want to eat a dinosaur's ribs.
No, I guess I never really thought about it. I mean, I guess it could be a mammoth. It could be a mammal, a big mammal. Were there mammoths in the show? Or like big tigers?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
right?
all of that.
Ever since the blue milk revelation, I'm always
you
curious.
think I'm just always dreaming about
I don't know,
eating?
because that never occurred to me as a big Star Wars fan as a kid. I never thought, I want to try that blue milk. It always looked gross. But ever since you said that you want to try the blue milk, I wonder what famous food moments in movie and TV you were thinking, I'd like to try that.
Well, it's talking about food stuffs. The Bedrock City, the Atlas. There's some good Atlas Obscura photos and like entries about this place. And they're old enough that they mention that according to a public Google Plus review, Fred's Cafe has the best prices in the area. Now, I don't know what else is in the area besides tumbleweeds and like nuclear waste, like lingering nuclear waste. But Fred's Cafe did serve Fishosaurus sandwiches. So if you want a big fish sandwich, approximately a little under 500 miles from the Pacific Ocean in the middle of the desert in Arizona, Fred's Diner or Fred's Cafe, whatever they called it, is your spot to go.
Look, I went to Chris Angel's restaurant, Kablip.
That's true.
It's about as far from anything as this sounds.
And
so I'm not above this kind of shit.
I specifically asked you how you felt after you ate there, and you said you held up fine, like it was okay.
I was
you're
shocked.
You loved it.
Yeah.
So I might, maybe all my favorite food awaits in deep desert, still an hour away from major attraction cafes.
I think there was various travel blogs that stopped at this place, and I just saw one of their entries was like, where to get fudge by the Grand Canyon. So the universal treat, fudge. So you can get a Fishosaurus sandwich, and then you can drive another 30 to 50 miles and find a fudge shop by the Grand Canyon.
What is your favorite fudge of all time?
I mean, it's very popular at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, is that where you would, if you could get any fudge right now, and you would say you had to impress Scott. Say Scott never had fudge before because he doesn't eat the treats that we do. And which fudge, if it was easily available, would you get?
Desert Island fudge.
What
would be your Jason's Desert Island fudge?
You know, it's If you go to like Ocean City, you might be a Frailinger's guy or a Shriver's guy or a Fudge Kitchen guy. A lot of these places are like 100 years old at this point, and still using the same kettles or like taffy making.
That's
machines.
what makes it good.
Probably a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Fudge Kitchen is a good place to start. Kind
Fudge
of famously always has people with trays giving out samples of fudge.
That's on the Jersey Shore?
Yes, that's in numerous towns at the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and how would you even say like that fudge compares to like a Disneyland fudge?
I haven't had it at Disneyland fudge in a while. I think I got the like churro fudge, like kind of a vanilla cinnamon fudge, and it was pretty good.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to mess up fudge, honestly.
Okay. So you don't have maybe like, oh my God, this is the ultimate fudge.
I like a simple chocolate because I find like walnuts or nuts and fudge kind of overwhelms
I'm not into
the
that
flavor.
either, yeah.
No? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keeping it plain.
So Fudge Factory.
Fudge.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Fudge Kitchen.
Fudge Kitchen.
I believe they have a big.
Impossible to remember brand name, but
They have a big like kettle.
Scott
like and
Granitor.
you use a paddle, like you whip
still
it.
not quite.
I think that's why they're fudge.
You
is
use a
good.
paddle to
They
make
use a paddle to whip it in a big copper kettle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like what we did when we were in the Disneyland. We were rowing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so imagine that's all like, chocolate and milk and sugar.
Okay.
And if somebody told you that there was a paddle coming for your ass, but maybe the paddle is covered in
if it's
stray
delicious
fudge.
You get to
fudge.
lick the Fudge Kitchen paddle after it's been in the copper kettle.
This is a future present for Jason.
Yeah.
Is giving him a big paddle
Big paddle
of fudge.
full
Maybe-
of fudge.
Maybe this is a thing because I think you can still buy like a carnation fudge kit, which is like a can of condensed
Sure.
milk, cocoa, like everything you need in one box.
And a little ore.
I think you can substitute
Maybe
a
a spoon? Maybe
or
you think a spoon would
a
be right?
spatula or.
I tried one more time with this AI
Mm-hmm.
because I said, God, we tried twice. Let me try
Yeah.
3 times. So I wrote Flintstones-A-Palooza
Oh,
and let down yet again.
this is not
Yeah,
a
this is
merger
not-
of the Navi.
this is not
and-
the-
No, it doesn't work. It's not working.
This
So-
thing sucks.
Yeah, this is. Unless
This is the worst thing we've ever done.
I think I was looking on a different website, and it makes it look a lot smearier. It's
There's
a
one
lot.
with Fred has like a little fairy wings, but I don't know. It looks like there's one that's like blue, but this sucks. I'm so sorry. Let's
Throw
edit
your phone
edit
away.
this out. Let's edit all of this out.
Scrap it.
Scrap
Grab
it.
it.
Edit all references to Navi out of the podcast too.
Do you want to? But not every episode, because there's
Yes,
there's
every
Navi's
episode.
referenced in every episode. Almost.
even Dragatar.
Oh, geez.
Cut it.
Oh, I remember one thing. I found there's a clip online of like 1 minute or 10 minutes of a few minutes of the. There was a brief stage show at King's Dominion.
Oh, okay.
With Flintstone characters, and that also involves them going to Holly Rock.
Okay, perfect.
So I think this is post Paramount because they say, they make movies here like Days of Boulder, which is a Days of Thunder reference,
Days of Thunder
likely said
into-
because there was a Days of Thunder simulator attraction. For a
Oh,
long
right,
time.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Days of Boulder, that's what you're in now.
Yeah.
No one wants to see. The Flintstones then go watch movies about rocks. Don't they want to imagine anything? Maybe they can't.
I don't think they can.
Are
they
Yeah.
don't-
rocks their god?
It's probably what
But
they
it's
think.
not their money. Seashells are their money.
Or like sand dollars, I think.
Right.
I think it's a mix.
I'm thinking about it. There's another Flintstones. There's so much like there's the Man Called Flintstone movie that I think was like a spy parody that Fred
Yes.
was in that I think I watched when I was sick once, which made me hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I
Okay.
feel like there's stuff that it's associated with when you were little and you're sick and it just ruins whatever you're watching, sometimes forever unless you watched it again. But then there was one, and maybe it was that, or maybe no, it was like something in the 90s where Sylvester Stallone was parody and he was Sylvester Stallone Stone.
That
They
sucks.
made it Stallone Stone.
Stallone Stone. Which,
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
That's like Sylvester Stallone. Well, what would it be?
Stone. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not very good.
Sylvester Stalactite?
It rhymes with stone. You
Yeah.
gotta
I
use.
guess you got to do the stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stone. Well, you know what? Hey, and then you put us in the driver's seat, and we made out like that app.
I know.
We bungled it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you pay those. That's why they paid those 70-year-old men to right? All of those
they
puns.
poured over it. They poured.
Yeah.
They were so. We can't think of the right name. Oh, they didn't say like, oh, what is it? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, let's go to lunch.
Their eyes totally dried out because the room is just filled with Winston cigarette smoke.
Well, they sponsored. They were sponsored.
They got
fruity, yes.
box after box.
It was
That's how
that
they paid
crafty.
the writers. Can I ask for a photo also of Brett? If you see like there's a black and white photo of a shirtless guy, and I just want to make sure you guys saw this picture of what the voice of Fred Flintstone looked like. Alan Reed, not Alan Hale. Alan Hale is the skipper with the lobster barrel. Alan Reed. Look at this man. This is a black and white photo of a guy with no shirt, and he's got a ship wheel, a captain's wheel, and he's so sweaty. This is the voice of Fred. Hey, we've heard this guy's voice our whole lives, and he's this, and it's that kind of insane body that's what strong people looked like.
He looks like
100 years ago.
If you know wrestling, he looks like George the Animal Steel. If you've ever seen the movie
Yeah.
Ed Wood, he's played by why can't I think of the guy's name? I forget. It's one of the wrestlers that plays him. But yeah. Or no, excuse me. George the Animal Steel plays the older wrestler, excuse me.
Oh, I see.
And I can't think of his name. But yeah, it's like an old kind of barrel-chested,
that
hairy
kind of
guy.
Like, are there even bodies like this now where you are jacked but also have a big belly?
George
It's like-
the Animal Steel played Tor Johnson.
Yes.
Oh,
I
that's
got
right.
confused.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, this was the fittest man in America in his time.
This is by the way,
This
take
is
a
him
look.
trying to steer away from the many, many women chasing after him.
This guy,
please, Alan. No, I'm married. Come on.
He's probably 31 years old here.
I think so.
He's probably
yes.
younger than the three of us, for sure. He looks in his 50s.
Hannah
his early
and
50s.
Barbera would call him kid at this point.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
slow your roll, kid, on these contract negotiations.
He looks like Fred. I'll say that. Like he looks like, oh
does.
yeah, that guy would do Fred's
Yeah,
voice. Sometimes
yeah.
you're
Why they thought
surprised.
of him.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you're like surprised when you see, but not. No.
This is insane. I think this is what like Trump acolytes think he looks like underneath the suit. Like,
Oh, sure,
because they're
yeah.
like, they know that he's not skinny, so they got to account for that. But
He's like an
he can
old-school-
only be brawny, right? That must be what's going on. If he were to take that suit off ever, he looks like a 1910s boxer.
He looks
right?
like a smiling, old-timey strong man who just got a barrel of vegetable oil thrown on him. And he's thrilled. He's happy about it.
Most people, if you ask about presidential candidates, who would you want to have a beer with? But it's with Trump people, it's like, who could wrestle an alligator? If an alligator showed up at my front door.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a section of people I believe that are, what you're saying is correct. There's probably just a section that literally just like if you got into their brain, it's just like they see like like Zeus. They see like the most handsome version of like King Triton. They just they just don't even.
It's just like a little squish, and it corrects every like they've got a perma Instagram filter on every piece of footage of Donald Trump.
You've described the section of the supporters who have maybe like a fingernail in reality.
Yeah.
I'm describing
who have to do the logic of. I'm implying that logic exists.
Yeah, and I'm just saying like there's a little bit of reality going on. The people I'm talking about, I think it's more like literally King Triton at the end of The Little Mermaid, because they see like the toughest man alive.
Yeah.
Newsflash, folks.
So they
not the case.
That is half the electorate, and then the other half is people who hold like the most insane set of opinions, just no consistency of just like,
well, sure.
Well, everyone should have health care. We need to do something about global warming. We cannot get rid of the death penalty. We need that, or society will fall apart.
King Triton says so.
Yeah, King Triton says so.
Trump as King Triton.
Well,
this is a fantastic picture of this
Let's leave him
gentleman.
up as long as we can. But let's also, is there anything we have to say about this recent ride, this Abu Dhabi?
I'll say this, it looks good.
It kind of does.
It's not like
it's the first proper, if you haven't seen a video, it's the first like actually fully committed. There's like Kings Island one of these places had a dinky something called Fred Flintstone's Splashdown, but I don't think you got any robots on that thing. But this is a boat ride. It's a tame flume ride where you go to Bedrock, and there's a screen. There's a turntable where they spin the boat around, and you see the iconic Yabba Dabba Doo.
The opening of Fred leaving work because he's like every American man. He hates work with a passion.
Yeah, I think that opening goes a long way. I think people like the opening. I think the opening glued in people's minds. I think the song is catchy.
Oh, of course. Yes.
There's a lot, I think, that made The Simpsons so ubiquitous. It is the...
And the Flintstones.
And the Flintstones.
Well, the Simpsons. Oh, God. The Flintstones.
You were thinking of the fact that it was parodied on The Simpsons.
It was parodied, where Homer jumps out of the plant. Yeah.
Homer, hits a chestnut tree.
But the Flintstones is like a ubiquitous reference that like TV networks and movie studios nowadays try to like generate out of nothing.
The iconography is so strong still with the Flintstones, which maybe goes to my point earlier. Like, I don't know how many classic plots people might remember, but they know they love the opening. They know they love the characters. They like, the aesthetic of it maybe. And again, we're going to be bombarded with all your letters. So sorry. For people are going to say you're wrong. There's like 10 classic Flintstone episodes.
There's also like the little nuggets of like, if you walk up to people on the street and you go 10 million strong, like, will they say and growing?
Yeah. Which could those vitamins be good for you? I
don't know.
We had them growing up. I mean, I guess they probably have to pass some test, but who knows?
I kind of like the taste of those. Maybe I'll make a cheesecake with ground up Flintstone vitamins.
Oh, it's delicious. I love Flintstone vitamins. I remember when they added, was it Bam Bam to the vitamins? They added a character in the 90s, and you may as well have like thrown me an extra birthday that year. That's how excited I was.
Whoa.
I remember that. I should see, because they added, like, say it was Bam Bam, because it did bother me that all the characters were not eatable. Because I wanted to eat all the characters.
I want to eat all my friends.
Because it was fun taking a vitamin every day when you would eat one of the Flintstones.
You could pretend you were the biggest dinosaur.
Yeah.
Chewing all of these cavemen and ending their lives.
Did they have to have a meeting where like, well, can we put Bam Bam in there? Wouldn't the kids expect him to be like hitting stuff with his club?
Bad influence. Yeah.
Bam Bam
if we take the weapon away,
a precursor to dinosaurs, to baby what's his face from not the mama,
Baby Dinosaur,
Baby Sinclair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Baby Sinclair. You're right.
All right. I was wrong about what happened.
Oh.
Okay. This is a travesty.
All right. Well, let's cut the letter off at the pass.
So this is going to be all right. We're going to edit this into the front of the episode because it's so important. The vitamins are widely available. They were in the shapes of Fred, Wilma, Pebbles, Barney, Betty, Bam Bam, Rubble, Dino, and the Great Gazoo. For over 20 years, Betty was not included as one of the vitamins.
Betty?
However, after a grassroots campaign and the results of a Bayer telephone poll came in favor of including Betty, the character was added to the lineup in 1995, replacing what? The Flintstones car.
They did the car
the
and
car
not
was
Betty.
Over Betty.
Jesus.
Come on.
Wow.
Betty's like a main character.
Was this the Stone Age when all this happened?
It really is. Shocking.
How did we live like this?
But does the car get more screen time than Betty?
I don't know. I feel like Betty's in episodes.
She's in a good amount of episodes. I feel like they got a lot of mileage.
Wait, she's in every. What do you mean?
But
these are the letters. Betty's in every episode of the Flintstones.
How many minutes does the car get versus Betty get?
No, she's in more than the car.
This is an insane argument.
But people know the car.
They're in the houses a lot of the time.
Here's the thing: I haven't watched a Flintstone episode in 100 years. So, but I don't think there's just like scenes with like the shots of the car in the driveway.
The car's in the credits
over cool guitar.
But you went out of your way to talk about the ribs knocking over the car. What Betty specific memories have you brought up?
Her and Wilma
you're in the midst of making an anti-Betty.
I'm not making
He's not saying
Betty.
He doesn't want Betty in the vitamins. He's trying to make the
I
argument
liked Betty.
That the car is more iconic.
We are Betty. We're all Betty fans. Jason is trying to say that perhaps the car is a more popular character than Betty in the original Flintstone
I'm
show.
saying back in the day they may have given her more screen time. There's another.
I don't think the car. I think the car. Betty was more in the show than the car
was. But people
was.
remember the car.
Yeah,
people
but
I think
remember
people
specifics.
remember Betty
Tell
Rubble
me-
as well.
Tell me some qualities of Betty Rubble.
She's nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Like Duffy, she's nice.
She's
Well,
nice.
what's the quality of the car?
and what's the quality of Wilma?
Name one of those, dum-dum.
And what?
The car isn't balanced well, clearly, or it shouldn't be used
That's
at
the-
car
that's a
hops.
balance.
That's a rib problem, not a car problem. Look, what is Fred and Barney? What are their qualities? Dumb? They're both dumb. Wilma and Betty are smarter.
I know how I know how they believe what a cigarette should taste like. There's another very funny
Appreciation of
commercial.
fine cigarettes. That's a quality.
There's
Is there a Bechdel test that is about vitamins? Is about children's vitamins, where their women are well represented in vitamins?
I would say, well, most vitamins do not represent women at all. They're just plain pills.
That's a good
That
point.
don't
Yeah.
represent men either, but
That's
that's
a good
not
point.
the issue.
Is there
I'm
another-
fighting for women to be
Is there
all
a-
vitamins to be women shaped.
It is crazy, and I will say, all kidding aside, it is sexist that Betty wasn't a vitamin. It
Yeah.
absolutely is.
Very
Over
strange.
the car?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Is there another vitamin that has characters on it? There has to be, right?
surely at this point.
I mean, at this point, there's gummies, but not from our childhood. I feel like Flintstones was the only.
Probably.
Only-
What if this is industry wide? There's Disney vitamins, and there's
We're gonna have to look into
no
this.
many. There's
'Cause it was a-
superhero vitamins with no Wonder Woman.
Because and I think it's different, a little bit different now. But in the old days when we were buying toys, and I'm sure I've talked about this before, is that the female characters were not well represented.
weren't
because
treated
the
respectfully,
the philosophy was, well, these are boys' toys, and boys don't like the female characters, which not really true. It's just another so they would be very hard to find in the cases. So I'm guessing it's the same sort of philosophy of a little boy's gonna want to chew on a car more than Betty. Little
and
boys.
we need them to grow. We need them to be strong and growing, like our song says. And if they're throwing all those Bettys in the trash, we're gonna have an entire generation of stunted growth boys.
Also, what's crazy about it is they couldn't just add Betty; they had to take one out.
yeah.
What was removed again? The car was
car.
removed. Okay,
Removed.
okay. That was a switch out. Okay.
So, why didn't they just add one? Or it's there was a giant apparatus that you'd see in a Mr. Rogers video that would make each vitamin, and they were like, we don't have room for another one, so we got to just get rid of the car.
The pure unit cost of the extra 5 cents per bottle multiplied by however many million.
Right.
And also, you said they had the Great Gazoo?
Gazoo over
one
over Betty.
season character that a lot of people didn't like.
So I memory hold it in a way where Bam Bam, because it was a member of Betty's family, and that made more sense to me. I didn't even remember Gazoo was in the vitamins.
you had to do that to grapple with how this
how
could
would
have
Betty
even occurred.
Betty not be in the vitamins?
You were a completist even as a child. You wanted each full family unit.
Of course, yeah.
You wanted the full nuclear family, both nuclear families.
And I also wanted to eat Mr. Slate, but that never happened. Although I guess it still could happen. If we start, what happened with Betty? A Bayer telephone pole came in favor of Betty, which I don't know.
Bayer the company, not
makes
it wasn't
aspirin.
a Bayer didn't conduct
Yeah.
a.
So
Those resulting in ads that say Betty's here. What if this was, and this was until 95, so we were all still
So
very
I do
mid-childhood.
remember them adding a character, and it was Betty. It was not Bam Bam, but I was excited because it was a big oversight. It was weird, and I remember feeling it was weird that everybody wasn't on the vitamins.
Yeah, we just gave up on the vitamins at a certain point.
I have and when I say recently, in
kind
the
of
last
do
5
now.
years, I have bought Flintstone vitamins and had them instead of my regular multivitamin.
Is that right?
It was just once. It's fun.
If you
It's like a fun
compare
How's
one.
that taste? How's that hold
Oh,
up?
they're fantastic. They still
Yeah.
taste. They're delicious. I remember
I kind
some.
of liked
It's
It's kind of like a
fun.
grape, and then a slightly different grape, and then maybe a darker grape.
It's like cherry, orange, grape.
Mhm.
It's the fundamentals of popsicle flavors that we grew up with. Those 3 flavors.
You start the day eating a little treat, a little piece of candy. It's like why gummy vitamins are fun.
Yes, and I wish I buy sometimes as well. But
Yeah.
they are not. I have them right now. I go back and forth between adult flavorless things, and then I'll do a gummy once in a while. Yeah,
Some of those gummies, female gummies.
These are all.
There's no way
these
to
are just
know,
little
I guess.
blobs.
Mhm.
These are These actually do have a little coat of sugar on them. Now I'm thinking about it.
I guess we have to assume that some of them are, because if gummy bears are able to reproduce and repopulate, then.
Like the spider robots on the.
Oh yeah, well that's a non-sexual type of repopulation, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe gummy bears create themselves.
That's
in which,
in
which gummy bears don't have sex.
Right. So what were we talking about? Flintstones.
Oh, Michael, they
Warner
do
Brothers
have.
World. What's that?
They have gummy Flintstone vitamins. Now.
Yes, I've seen this. Yeah, but are they characters?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so we'll do a whole gummy. We'll do a whole
Flintstone
gummy
vitamins
Flintstone
is a pretty
vitamin.
good
Oh,
episode.
vitamins. We'll start your omakase tastings. We will give you a vitamin course. So you can sample.
I remember. I know we're still recording, right? This is the tape didn't run out. Like we're still going here because I remember. I just opened this up and I remember when they introduced the new Flintstone vitamins Extra C with immunity support. I remember this orange box, and I'll show this.
Why
to the
do you
camera.
remember that?
Because I remember. I was very.
I like that close up on Jason's. Well, look at that rack focus.
Look at that. That's a great shot.
Yeah, we could see your watch too earlier.
That's great, Jason. You remember this?
Yeah.
So I was heavily.
Wait a minute. Yeah. What are you talking about? You
Yes,
remember when the
new
box
Flintstone-
changed to be about
but it
vitamin
was a
C?
different version. It was a different version.
Jason flippantly
version.
says, yeah. Wait a minute. When did this? Why do you remember this?
I just remember like we went to the grocery store and we go, oh, there's a new colored box for Flintstone vitamins. And it
Man,
had like,
they have a
And
lot of
Jason's
different.
so, of course, Jason's even like worrying about something else. He's like, yeah, shut up. I got other shit to do. You
No.
remember when the box color changed?
yes, I do.
Well, I'm looking at all. They got multiple boxes, bottles. Like they
Yeah.
elderberry gummies. What's that?
I
do?
still don't understand why you were so excited about that you're like, here, let me get in different camera angles to show you that now it's orange.
Because I realized that the thing, earlier, I'm going to amend my list. I'm going to put Flintstone vitamins number 1, actually.
This is clearly,
because
when
apparently
specifically this
I'm
fucking
unlocking.
box. This is the most excited I've seen you in months.
I'm unlocking. It's the
Look
first.
by the color.
It's the first time I felt.
Let me get in all the cameras.
It's the first time I
Color!
felt anything in maybe pre-pandemic, before pre-pandemic. I
still don't think I understand. Wait. Say it one more time. What happened? What's up with this box that was so interesting?
There was a new Flintstone vitamins which had immunity support, like vitamin C, extra vitamin C. And I remember going in the aisle because I think the regular box, maybe it was a little like more red. Yeah, it was like this. This was more the color of it.
Red.
And then there was like one with, and I remember when we started buying Flintstones with immunity support. And I remember in the same way that they talk about, like you were looking like a kid in the 70s is looking at like Ziggy Stardust. He's staring at the album cover. I remember just like the image of this orange Flintstones plus immunity support box with extra vitamin C. I remember it so well and vividly. And maybe it wasn't exactly the thing I'm looking here, but it was similar to this.
Is it the color? It was the idea of that you wanted the immunity support?
But I was like this with any food.
This is like a new flavor. This is a sequel. It's Flintstones Vitamins 2.
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
I just came upon, there was a cereal that was a comic strip cereal. I don't know if you guys remember this. So anything with characters, I was just
Colors,
enamored with different colors.
Product art and like vitamin art was not that dissimilar from like toy art.
Yes. So in the same way you get in your room, you look at the liner notes of an album. I just took that Flintstones vitamin C box and I was like, oh wow, this is so cool.
And read every
eating
xenothine, ribohynochlorothene. Wow. This man, so many vitamins to explore.
It's like an almost famous movie to be made about me and like eating like Ninja Turtle cereal and Flintstone vitamins. This is what I'm talking about. And I remember before we started here today, I was like, we probably could do a real like concise episode about Flintstones, but no, hell no. Here's a picture of Morning Funny's cereal, which we absolutely had a box of.
So which Family Circus is one of them.
Yeah, so
Cliff is one of them.
It's basically like there's a comic strip on the front, and it's Beetle Bailey and High and Lois and Dennis the Menace, and it's basically just looks like some version of Trix.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is, right there for you.
So you've made the audience. They're all one person who you're showing shit to on your phone.
That's yes. That's what this
it isn't.
episode
That what the whole podcast
exactly
is in general.
So yeah, all that stuff. Just as a kid, they could easily trick you with packaging and everything. That being said, the Abu Dhabi Flintstones ride I think is good. I think the robots maybe could move a little bit more, but it's a nice long ride. I think they've got references to the show. There's like a Beatles parody at the end of it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the closest thing to it being right. I don't think anyone will ever do a better, unless Flintstones like has a crazy resurgence in popularity. I feel like that is kind of maybe the ultimate Flintstones ride in a lot of ways.
I think so, but however, you lost me because now I'm trying to find, has anyone ever posted, I'm like, what do I search for? Flintstones immunity support, new. Flintstones immunity support, excited. Childhood memory. I don't know what to find. And this bit, am I setting myself up for another? You never know with these things. Either this is very singular, although not because it's both of you.
Yeah.
Or, again, I am Scott didn't know that when the new box with the orange was there, that it was important.
I think people will remember that box. Mm-hmm. I don't think Jason was doing it to troll.
But has anyone's voice ever raised about it? Which even Jason's did not, even in his quick agreement.
To be fair, though, he was busy with something else, so he didn't give his full energy
I'm just
to
looking
it.
I was just making sure they are still appear to have all 8.
Okay, good. Yeah,
the two families, Dino
I'm
and
not putting
Gazoo.
you down for not being. I'm just saying that maybe if you had Scott's full attention, you would have raised your voice in excitement when he asked you, do you remember the orange?
Do you remember you would have gotten up and started doing Gangnam Style
Well,
or something.
TV was kind of a third parent. Not that my parents were neglectful, but I just watched a lot of TV.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I did not.
And that's why you were excited about the vitamin.
And you wanted to eat them.
Huh?
You watched TV and you wanted to eat them. That's what I was
wanted
feeling.
to consume though. Yeah, I needed a little snack in the morning. I needed a little sweet treat because there wasn't enough sugar in the orange juice, the 2% milk, and the cookie Chex.
Okay, I've never been more curious. If this is an important memory for anyone else, is the switch from Flintstones vitamins.
Not a switch, just a new version.
New. Malibu Stacy has a a new hat. It worked on us.
If you remember when that happened, please let us know.
People tearfully the immunity support helped me survive.
Yeah,
bird flu.
You're right. The mad cow. Who knows in the 90s what?
I have also never noticed a difference in how I feel when I take a multivitamin. B12,
but this is the whole,
I feel
this
a
is the
little
whole issue
energy.
with vitamins in general. It's like, well, what is it doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like zinc. You're supposed to take zinc if you feel like you have a cold coming on or an illness.
Which I accidentally took once on an empty stomach.
No, big mistake.
I immediately vomited.
Yeah. No,
So,
big mistake.
yeah.
Don't do that. But supposedly zinc, there's some evidence that it helps. But ultimately, you'll never know. You take a zinc, you go to bed. Maybe it would have. You'll never literally know.
Yeah.
Other than just having. The only time you'll know is if you take a blood test and they go, you need more vitamin D or whatever.
Right.
Then you can there's a measurable thing. But ultimately, it's not like you take a vitamin in the morning and you go oh, I'm on the way to work. I feel great.
Well, you're both ruining our eventual business of Podcast the Ride supplements.
Oh man.
Oh sure.
We could make that happen.
Yeah. Still, that's what we're saying. We wanted to come up with something that does do something, and all of the pills are shaped like different female characters that we admire.
Yes.
There's not one male character in there.
I was
certainly not a car.
Jean Grey, Aurora Monroe,
All the
Jubilation
X-Men,
Lee,
the women from the
mostly
X-Men. They're fictional.
It's a lot of
They're
X-Men.
fictional women. Chester Chase Meridian is my main pick. If we all have to draft famous women to be in our vitamins, Chase Meridian's my number one.
Just staring at the Chase Meridian adverts in the newspaper, in the Chicago Sun-Times.
Hey,
but not hearing sexy sex.
No sexy. It's a pure love.
It's
pure
not
silence.
A pure respectful.
It's nothing untoward.
Guys, you survived Podcast the Ride.
Have we been talking about vitamins for 45 minutes?
A lot of it was vitamin. Maybe enough where we have to change the name of the episode. We'll discuss that down the road. But in the meantime, you can find us on all the socials at Podcast The Ride. Merch is available in our TeePublic store. For 3 bonus episodes every month, check out Podcast The Ride, The Second Gate at patreon.com/Podcast The Ride. And guess what? There's we have a new
tier.
It's not immunity support, but it's as exciting as a change of a color on a box, because we have a new Patreon tier, Club 3, where you get one more bonus episode every month, plus our main feed episodes ad-free. And again, that's all available at patreon.com/Podcast The Ride, as will Podcast The Ride's unlicensed supplements with unlicensed female characters who we admire.
Yes, that's true. There'll be a lot of fun stuff there. Real quick, I wanted to add right before we got here today. I thought, I want people to imagine, like, any of these episodes. There's there's infinite amount of universes. There's an infinite amount of ways things can go. And I just want people now to imagine, if you're a long time listener of the podcast, imagine if this episode, like, there was a fourth character and it was like the great Bug Zoo who was here with us.
Oh, I didn't even...
And I just thought of it before coming here, so we didn't even. So I'm not saying it has to happen in the future, but there is a universe where it did happen.
Yeah. Well, the Great Bug Zoo should probably pop up in a non-Flintstones episode.
Sure. Yeah, it's
the
possible.
Biggest surprise.
Yeah, dumb. Yeah, like just imagine if that had happened during this whole episode. I don't know what would have happened.
Then we can call it a square for all the new Club 3 members who were like, you guys should watch Escape from Tomorrow. Whose cereal did I shit in that I got that curse?
Well,
they want it.
They want it.
We aim to please. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Great Bug Zoo.
Great. We should have thought of it.
9/11 released us all from the Dum Dum.
Yeah.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram @ForeverDogTeam and liking our page on Facebook.